Namaste and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. Come to think of it, the administration in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir has taken the right stand, ladies and gentlemen, by reopening cinema halls. Not just in Srinagar, but over the weekend, cinema halls were opened even in Pulwama and Shopian, regions where it is a rarity, it is perhaps never before that Shopian has seen a cinema hall. There was a trend in the past where in certain regions in South Kashmir, there would be no cinema halls because it was infested with hardliners and of course the Pak propagandists. But Srinagar and a large part of the rest of the Kashmir Valley had been enjoying the thrills and the beauty of real so that they could escape the real or perhaps see the real manifest, however you want to look at it. They did go to the movies. It all stopped in the 90s. And then when they started to restart it at the turn of the millennium in 2004, 2005, terrorism and Pak-based radical propaganda put paid to all those chances. But since the abrogation of Article 370, since 2019, 5th of August, things have taken a turn. And more importantly, this is not an imposition by the administration. What we see manifest today with the opening of a multiplex, 520-seater, 3 stories, 3 shows in a day, that's what it's going to start with, is a demand from the people. This is what the people of Jammu and Kashmir want, and that is why it is happening. Will there be threats going in the future? Of course. But will those threats be withstood? Yes. Are the people wanting to embrace culture, cinema, and of course, the country?
After 3 decades, the cinemas have returned to Kashmir. On Sunday, LG Manoj Sinha kicked off 2 makeshift cinema halls cum auditoriums in militancy-affected Shopian and Pulwama. This was to wean away youth from joining subversive activities.
और ये एक लक्ष्य रखा गया है कि हर जम्मू कश्मीर के हर जिले में मिशन यूथ के अंतर्गत ये 100 सीटर सिनेमा हॉल बनाए जाएं।
The biggest beneficiaries would be students who would not only enjoy the cinemas but would also be given education through audiovisual learning.
पुलवामा में बहुत पहली बार खुला है ये सिनेमा और यहाँ पे आज एलजी मनोज सिन्हा आए थे इसकी इनॉग्रेशन करने के लिए और बहुत सारे स्कूल से हम बच्चे जमा हुए थे आज यहाँ पे उनके साथ हमने बैठ के कुछ क्लिप्स देखी हैं। सब लोगों को यहाँ के लोगों को बहुत एक्सपोजर मिलने वाला है, वरना तो बाहर जाना पड़ता था ऐसा कुछ देखने के लिए।
लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर आए थे यहाँ पे और उन्होंने इस सिनेमा का और इनॉग्रेशन किया पुलवामा में और उनसे बात भी हुई बहुत सारों की और उनने यहाँ पे इनॉग्रेशन जब की तो बहुत अच्छा हुआ कि एक्सपोजर अब बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ेगा।
While all the 20 districts across the Union Territory would have mini cinema halls, the biggest and the first multiplex in Kashmir would start today. The 520-seater, 3-storied multiplex is a state-of-the-art facility and is set to attract entertainment-starved valley residents. The move will also regain Bollywood's lost connection with Kashmir.
Bollywood और Kashmir का रिश्ता is very old relationship. I think the first film here was shot Barsat by Raj Kapoor. So we want to revive that. We want to revive the connection of Bollywood and Kashmir. We also want to give full entertainment to our children, to our students, to our elderly. There must be at least 50% people in this state who have not seen, in the valley, who have not seen a film in the cinema hall.
Between 2000 to 2018, many cinema owners tried to revamp 4 of the 10 cinema halls in Srinagar, but due to rising militancy, they had to lock up the facilities again.
The owners are saying that there is tremendous response. Now, one hopes and prays that this sticks and this works very well, and youngsters as well as old people, they get an opportunity to come here with their families and watch.
In Srinagar, this is Mufti Isma.
जिन्होंने पहले कश्मीर में फिल्म नहीं देखी पर्दे पे, बड़े पर्दे पे, वो जाके देखें। जो पहले देख चुके हैं वो पुरानी यादों को ताज़ा करें, माजी को थोड़ा याद करें। Well, that's the whole idea. Cultural rhythms vibrating very, very strong as this move has happened. It's been made possible. We are hoping that we should get Vijay Dharji joining us in a short while from now. He is, of course, the chairperson, owner of Inox itself. Now, September 18, 2020, let's go back. What happened? Shopia, Pulwama, 18th and 20th, Shopia, Pulwama and Srinagar. Three places where cinema halls, multiplexes have been inaugurated by the Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir. September 7 to 10th, it was Ganderbal. Urs of Hazrat Kamruddin Bukhari was observed after 35 years. So these are things which had stopped and it has started again after 33 years. Now, August 15th in Dal Lake, Srinagar, it was Jashn Dal, which is a program under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav that was conducted and huge turnout. 1st of April, Dal Lake, Srinagar, Kashmiri Pandit celebrating New Year as Navreh, and this is the first time in 32 years that you saw these pictures on the Dal. October 2021, Dal Lake, Srinagar, it's a floating cinema. Kashmir Ki Kali was actually screened on this floating cinema, bringing back memories of that classic of Shami Kapoor and Sharmila Tagore. So, is this a master stroke to counter terror, to try and shift this entire narrative which was so negative and pessimistic towards one of optimism, driven by culture and, of course, the big screen? Come to the movies. Cinemas back in Kashmir. And yes, we do have Vijay Dharji, owner Inox Multiplex Cinema, joining us now. So let's go to him first up. We've got a huge array of voices from Jammu and Kashmir who have their links with and who have served, done their large part of their service in Jammu and Kashmir, joining us on this very special broadcast. But first to Vijay Dharji. Vijay ji, namaste. Thank you very, very much. Let me first ask you, how do you view the developments today?
Sir, I think it's a great first step. I think the Honorable Lieutenant Governor has been very supportive throughout the entire process. I think it was just right that he came and inaugurated the function, the cinema halls, and I think it went by quite well. I think it's a culmination of a long cherished dream. We're extremely happy today. We are ecstatic today.
Well, I think the happiness shows, but what has been the response of the people?
No, it wasn't a feedback. It wasn't a feedback. It was a feeling. It was me. My children spend a lot of time here. My wife spends a lot of time here. My parents are already resettled here, and it's just that in the evenings we didn't know where to go, what to do. We do have the coffee shop culture has come in, so that was quite exciting a few years ago. We do have other avenues opening up. Sports facilities are coming up. But with the advent of the film policy, the Honorable Lieutenant Governor has also opened up quite a few other avenues, and I think with the advent of all this, we realized that yes, it's time that we did something more for entertainment. I think wholesome entertainment where families can go, spend some time in the evening, you know, take 2-3 hours out of their busy schedules or whatever the day brings to them. Take 2-3 hours, sit in the magical world of cinema and lose yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Who doesn't love to do that? But it cannot be just business and losing yourself. What do you hope will be achieved from opening cinema halls again in Kashmir? Is there a larger thought?
No, there's no hope, sir. It's not like that at all. Like I said, it's from the heart. It's a act of passion completely, and that dream has been fructified today. On the first, when we open it up for the public, it doesn't matter. I'm not hoping for any large numbers or something, but even if 5 people come here, see a movie and go back, just the dream of getting cinema back to Kashmir would have been fulfilled, and that's it. That's all we had planned. We are not even thinking ahead of the first, no.
Well, Vikas ji, let me ask you this. Do you believe this will also help reviving the creative industry in Jammu and Kashmir?
I'm 100% sure, sir. I think there are beautiful stories to be told in Kashmir. I think there are phenomenal storytellers who really haven't translated out of the state, out of the union territory too well, and I have not found mass following at all. And I think it's time that through this medium, those stories be told and they be seen all over the world. And I'm sure everyone else will also realize that what I'm saying is absolutely correct. We are master storytellers.
Yes, absolutely. And I personally am aware of some people who just brilliant, just simply brilliant. They just needed this opportunity and this avenue. Let's hope that happens. But in the past, we've seen cinema halls open and then shut down because there has been an act of terror. Some threats have come through. Do you think this will be an impediment going forward?
Sir, if I may give a quote from Majroor Sultanpuri साहब कि अकेले ही निकले थे जानिबे मंजिल मगर लोग आते हुए गए और कारवां बनता गया. And you'll see in a year this will be so true. This will be so true, sir.
Well, but हम भी यही उम्मीद करते हैं विकास जी. but एक बात पूछना चाहूँगा. You are the first. Do you want others to follow?
Sir, I'm not thinking in that direction. I'm not thinking at all, to be honest with you. If we had to do something here, a lot of people advise us for other avenues of business. And this is something which has come from the heart. And when you think from the heart or when you feel from the heart, there's not much thought which goes to the environment. You're just seeing that fish eye and you're saying, this is my dream and I want to bring it back. I'm not looking at anything else right now.
Love your passion, but since you've said it's not feedback but feeling, do you sense a rejection of terrorism and an open acknowledgement of progressive thinking among the people of Kashmir? My final question.
I'm not so sure, sir. I can't speak for them. I can't speak for anybody else. I can speak for only myself, sir. My aim was to get this started, and I've got this started. My aim was to bring to talk in cinematic language. There was a what do you call it, interval between the, because Kashmiris never stopped loving cinema and cinema never stopped loving Kashmir. We had a brief interval and now the movies have to go on again. It's time to watch the movie again, sir. That's all I'm concentrating on.
Wow, what a message. And I really love your spirit. May all your dreams come true like this one. And जैसे आपने कहा कि लोग जुड़ते गए, कारवां बनता गया, मजरूर साहब को आपने कोट किया है. So let's just hope that happens. Vikas ji, thank you very, very much. And also my respects and greetings to your family. Your father too has been very instrumental in this, in making this happen. So thank you very much for making the time. So let's go across to our guest. We've got another filmmaker in the mix. He's also got Kashmiri roots and he's also championing the cause for cinema and of course return of the movies into Jammu and Kashmir. Ashok Pandit is with us. I have General Dhillon, Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon, former GOC 15 Corps with us. General Saab, thank you very much. I think you're away on a break, but you've still made time for us this evening. Thank you very much. Ambassador Rajiv Dogra is with us. Danish Manzoor Bhatt, editor Asia Newsweek, is also with us. And I'm hoping we will be able to get across to Mehjabeen ji, actor in Jammu and Kashmir. She is having network problems. We'll try and connect with her. We need her on the show. But first, let me ask you, Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon, लोग जुड़ते गए, कारवां बनता गया, विकास जी कह रहे हैं, but I'm asking you, did you ever think this would happen?
Good evening, Anand, and first of all, I must compliment Mr. Dhar Senior and Vikas, of course. Me and Mr. Dhar Senior have had a lot of discussions on this opening up of a multiplex when I was a co-commander in Srinagar. And going back to your question, log judte gaye, karma banta gaya. I have seen it from the beginning, 1988 when I was there, 1989 when the cinemas shut down, 1990 I was there. Karma kabhi toota hi nahi tha. I remember Srinagar mein, Army Transit Camp mein, there was a shop which used to rent out the video cassettes. And maximum video cassettes of Hindi movies used to be taken by local people. They would watch the movies at home. Of course, the cinemas were shut down because of intimidation and ISI strategy and the fear and the terror. But Kashmiri people never stopped loving Indian cinema. They never stopped loving Bollywood. They never stopped loving their art, culture, music, Mosiki, Sangeet. They are artisans. They are appreciators of art. How can we say that, they forgot everything and they just went into a shell? No, they never went into a shell. And today, after 5th of August 2019, they have come out in the open and now they're yearning for peace. They are demanding peace and they are boycotting the radicals They're boycotting the terror, and this is the fruits, and some brave people like Mr. Dhar have made it possible with the support and with the assistance of the local government and Honorable Lieutenant Governor and the security forces. I think a great day in the history of Kashmir, and I wish all Kashmiris beautiful viewing and beautiful cinema watching.
No, but there are apprehensions also, General Saab. Before I bring in our other panelists, there are apprehensions, although this brings up fond memories, and I agree with you. People from Jammu and Kashmir, highly creative, highly talented, and they love the creative pursuits. But one grenade put paid to the reopening of the Neelam Theatre, if I remember correctly, in 2005. So, is that one act of terror going to again become an impediment? I asked this of Vikasji and he didn't want to answer that question, but I'm going to ask you that. Or do you think things have changed? The mood has changed?
I'll put it a little differently. Jammu and Kashmir is being affected by terrorism which is being driven from Pakistan, the ISI, the Pakistan Army. So the small acts of terror will continue, and they have come down drastically. The public support against terror has gone up many folds. So yes, what you are saying, those challenges are there, and I spoke to the Corps Commander today. I had a word with the IGP Kashmir today. The security apparatus there, they are well geared up for all these things, all the challenges, and they have put it in the calculus. They have embedded the terror threat into the calculus before the government of Jammu and Kashmir under Honorable Lieutenant Governor Saab has gone into opening up of this multiplex. And yes, that challenge remains, but I think the security forces, the administration, and the population, the public at large, Awam, I think they are hand in hand with each other, and that's what is making it possible.
True. And General Saab, with your permission, I'm going to open this up. Ambassador Rajiv Dogra is with us, and Ashok ji, I'll go to Ambassador Saab and then come to you and Danish Manzoor Bhatt. Ambassador Rajiv Dogra, आपने लास्ट जम्मू कश्मीर में पिक्चर कब देखी थी सर? थिएटर में देखी थी कहीं? अभी फिर यादें ताज़ा करने जाएंगे वापस? एक चक्कर मार के आएंगे?
Well, I must have seen it before you were born, Anand, because as
Quite
a part
possible,
of our
sir.
training in foreign service, we go to districts for training for 3 months, and I chose Jammu and Kashmir, starting from Chushul and Nubra, right down to Rajouri and Punch, and I must have seen 1 or 2 movies in 75. But the question is larger. What comes to my mind is a coincidence. Before I go on to the coincidences, let me first compliment Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha, his officers, because it is not just this initiative of opening the cinema. They have taken a series of initiatives and series of bold steps which were considered punctuation marks earlier, perhaps even taboo. That is why we didn't go in for those decisions in the earlier years. And we should still keep our fingers crossed, because Pakistani gundas of ISI can still come in. But let me come to the coincidences. Iran today has seen women cutting their hair, burning their hijab, because they are fed up of being caged animals in the regime of Iran. In Afghanistan, women are coming out because they say our children need to be educated, our girls need education. So it is a society which must come out and protest and assert their rights, which has not been the case, unfortunately, in Kashmir. It is the administration which is taking these steps. So if there is a bomb attack or a grenade attack, this is not the first time that such a threat would be there. Delhi itself faced it many years back, and there were warnings in theatres all the time that if you see any foreign object, unattended object, please inform the cinema authorities. So Kashmiri society has to come out for its own welfare, because they have missed out on life. An entire generation has lost normal life because they collaborated or they stayed silent when they should have stood up against these terrorists or gundas, as I term them. So they will have to be vigilant, they will have to take the initiative, and they will now have to step forward and say that not just the cinema halls, we want to be the free birds and the free civil society members of the state and the country.
No, I agree. But do you believe that things are different this time around? That one grenade, one incident is not going to shut down everything? Do you think that people have also now decided enough is enough? We're going to reject this altogether. There is more ground support.
Well, I don't know whether there's more ground support, but yes, the armed forces and security forces, including police, have put up a barrier against the infiltration attempts of Pakistan.
Right.
So that has been a great success. Whether the civil society itself has risen up against terrorists, informed the police, informed the security forces of those. I mean, there are still reports that any number of these sleeping agents are still there. Why aren't they coming out and exposing them? And as far as Pakistan is concerned, I won't say that they have given up. They have taken a pause, but they have not given up.
They have not given up. Right now, उनका खुद का survival instinct है कि वहाँ पर they're fighting for survival. तो वहाँ पर कब shutdown हो जाएगा, lockdown हो जाएगा, उनको पता नहीं है. So first वहाँ तो संभालें, उसके बाद यहाँ देखें. But Ashok Pandit ji, what are your thoughts? Danish Manzoor, but I'll come to you after Ashok Pandit. Because I know you've seen a movie there and you had a very special tweet on 15th of August when you said, finally in my house I've got the Tiranga, I didn't know I'll do that. I'll never forget that tweet because it just touched a chord in my heart. But Ashok ji, as a filmmaker, as somebody who's part of the entire filmmaking process in the Hindi film industry, cinema halls opening in Srinagar.
Anand, good evening. Well, on behalf of Indian Motion Pictures Producers Association, Indian Film and Television Directors Association, and Federation of Western India Cine Employees, three major bodies, I would like to thank and applaud the effort of Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha Sahab and his entire team for, and definitely Vikas Dhar, his father, to start reopen the theatres in Kashmir. Well, there is definitely a fear in my mind, but as a filmmaker and as a person who thinks positively always, it's a great news for all of us. Especially, there is a theatre which is opened in my district. That's Pulwama, because I live near Pulwama in a village called Muran. I belong to that place, so there is an extra excitement that theatres are opening in my birth at my place where I lived, and I had a home there, or my parents had a home there. So, coming to the actual point, you see, theatres is a place. It's not only cinema per se. Cinema is a medium where bondings occur, where people sit together and watch a film. They are entertained. We are entertainers. So, to bring in positivity in the minds of people, entire 3 to 4 generations who have been born and brought up in Kashmir from last 33 years and who must have not left Kashmir didn't know what cinema is all about, except for digital media and television and all that. Now, if you see today on social media, whether it's Instagram or I keep on seeing posts of people from youngsters from Kashmir, they are brilliant cinematographers, they are brilliant musicians, they are brilliant cameramans, they are brilliant technicians in Kashmir and in Jammu as far as Kashmiri Pandits are concerned. So you have a place now, a center, where it's a multi-purpose theatre. It's not only cinema, it's a multi-purpose theatre. And the best thing I liked about Governors and his concept is that the theatres are not city concentrated. It's not only Srinagar. It's Pulwama, it's Kulgam, it's Anantnag, places where you would have never imagined theatres are there. Anantnag, you had a theatre. Right. But the best thing is that it is creeping into the small towns in villages where the youngsters will come up and they will have an alternative. There's a major stress buster. There's a learning process. You can show films. You can show training films. You can bring the entire India. What all is happening in the country to those theatres and people, the youngsters, the students, the children, the makers, the artists. Everybody can use this place to perform and spread positivity in Kashmir so that we live a peaceful life. I think it's a very great initiative taken by present government. But as you have been raising this question again about a grenade, I, as a Kashmiri Pandit, I definitely have a tinge of fear that hopefully God, my Mata Kher Bhavani, protects us and lets the positivity of our governor and the government. And one more thing, Anand, which is very important, is see, it's not the theatres which are open now. We have been exchanging our ideas as filmmakers, as associations with our LG. So this process of opening theatres has started. Cinema support has been starting from the last 2 to 3 years, where Governor Saab has started a cinema policy.
Correct.
Subsidies have been given to producers now. It's an encouragement to the film producers to come and shoot there.
Yes.
The job opportunities, lot of things, lot of people will come out, and then things will move on as far as films and cinema is concerned, Anand.
So I was there. I was there when this film policy was announced at the SKCC. There was a special program, and Amar Khan had come, and there were other artists and performers had come. People from the Telugu film industry were present. There were people who had come from the Tamil film industry. There was shooting that was going on at that point, and now multiple films. So, and that's when the film policy was announced, and the LG promised that there will be more. And at that time also people said कि picture तो आप बनाने दे रहे हैं, picture cinema hall कब खोलेंगे? So, you know, casual conversation this was asked, and he said that will also happen. So that it's taken some time, but I think one of the aspects is not to get cowed down. To like General Dhillon was saying, that it's part of the calculus that there will be these attempts to try and threaten, to intimidate, to scare. The fact is that you should not get scared. You got to come back and stare them back in the eye and come back in bigger numbers the next day. If there is an incident that happens at a multiplex or at a cinema hall or near that to try and intimidate, the next day it should be houseful, irrespective of what movie it is. People should just come out to say that we reject you. That attitude also has to come into play, Danish Manzoor, because it's very critical. A bully will work only till the time there are those who get bullied. The day they decide they will not get bullied and the collective grows up, then the bully becomes bullied. Danish Manzoor.
Right, Anand, absolutely. I think, the irony here is that the way Pakistan and its ISI killed the art and culture scene in Kashmir, and very systematically so. It's glaring, it's right there. And my fellow Kashmiris need to see through these lies. I mean, all of these separatist leaders had televisions at home. They would rent out CDs and DVDs, as General Dhillon pointed out a while ago. Many people would sort of go and buy take these VHS cassettes back in the day on rent, and then eventually CDs and DVDs on rent. Wasn't that un-Islamic at that point of time? Number one. Look at Pakistan itself, a country, barely bigger than a matchbox. Pardon me for saying this, but that's what I feel. 160 plus cinema screens in that country, but they have a problem with one in Jammu and Kashmir. 10,000 Urdu movies made, 8,000 Punjabi movies made, 6,000 Pashto movies made in Pakistan, in Pakistani cinema. They call it Lollywood. But the lollipop of un-Islamic was only for Kashmir, right? Look at the conflict entrepreneurs here, Anand, that those who had a problem with something as harmless as art, culture, and cinema, they do not speak about the 1,770 crores worth of revenue collected by the excise department. Who is drinking these 10 crore plus bottles of liquor, beer? This was in 2014, 2015. I'm telling you, the erstwhile Jammu and Kashmir assembly data. This is the hypocrisy. Drugs, nobody's questioning that. 6 lakh of my fellow Kashmiris right now struggling with drug abuse at this juncture. Nobody's talking about that. They won't have a problem with that. They won't have a problem with 2,000% spike in the heroin usage in Jammu and Kashmir at this point of time. Why? Because we all know where that is coming from. So nobody has a problem with that. So hypocrisy, Anand, absolute hypocrisy, and all one can hope now is that the best of talent that Kashmir has, it finds a way itself to the silver screen, and also Kashmir gets the best of hospitals, the best of multiplexes, the best of recreational centers, the best of hospitals and schools as well, so that peace can prevail.
Now, are you heartened by the response? It's not an empty theatre. It's not filled by the LG and the LG's office members. It is people who came, and the feedback that I got was, forget Srinagar, in Pulwama and Shopian, the response that came, that shocked even the administration.
And then I'll just sort of interrupt you here for one small thing. Everybody was sort of talking about an imminent attack or something happening. Let me tell you this, Anand, if a single attack, God forbid, takes place on any of these places, this will further expose the already exposed Pakistan ISI and their ilk within the valley, that they do not want peace in Jammu and Kashmir. They have killed art and culture there. They want to keep it dead, while they themselves enjoyed their Lollywood.
But General Saab, what's the response that you have got? Because you've been talking to the current army establishment there, and you just said that you were in touch with the Corps Commander. So General Aujla and from his team, what was the feedback? Were they also heartened and pleasantly surprised by the response on ground?
The complete security forces team and the administration are very much, the response has gone as per the expectation, as per people's will. And what my friend Danish has just told you, let me amplify a little more. I'll give you the pulse of the ground. In army, we have something called national integration tours. We send people, young girls, young students, Maulvi Saabs, the farmers, the teachers, the elders, on a tour to other parts of the country for 10 to 15 days. And can you beat it, when we are scheduling this program to the tour itinerary, the first and foremost request always is, sir, 2 से 3 picture जरूर दिखानी है. So this was the urge of the people of Kashmir. And I'm telling you, all sections of the society which I just named, we have sent on pure women national integration tours also, and the demand was there from them also. I remember once I was welcoming back a tour of young girls of 10th and 12th class students, and they had gone to the film city and they had seen some shooting also. And when they came back, and I was sort of talking to them, my wife was also there, the only topic which they kept talking again and again and again and again was how they enjoyed the day at the film city. Now this is what Kashmir is, this is what Kashmiri is. So come what may, like my fellow panelists said, one odd incident here and there, come what may. I think this is not going to stop, and this is a slap on the face of the people who thought they can keep the Kashmiris away from art, culture and music. I think Kashmir is headed. And now coming to your question, the security administration, the security apparatus is very much enthused by the response of the people, and they were expecting it. They expected the response to be huge, and in the coming days, it's going to go up even further.
Do you believe one of the biggest differences, Ambassador Rajiv Dogra, is that the previous disposition was pandering to the wrong side? The current disposition is batting for the larger group of people, and it's standing up. So yes, there may be law and order issues, there may be efforts to disrupt, but the countermeasures coming in, kicking in, and the counter ops are swift and fast. Is that giving people a certain level of confidence now compared to what the scenario was in the 80s and the 90s? Do you think that's the biggest difference?
Well, let me not comment on previous administration. You see, the circumstances make a lot of difference also. 80s and onwards, we were under a series of attacks from Pakistan, and it was very difficult just to get by on a day-to-day basis in Kashmir, earlier in Punjab also. So that phase now is over. As I said, there's a punctuation mark. One doesn't know what might happen despite Pakistan's internal difficulties. Perhaps because of their internal difficulties, they may want to distract people's attention and increase the activities abroad, in this case in India. So let's keep our fingers crossed. But I would heartily agree with you that the present administration has taken a series of bold measures and stuck by them. But they have not taken rash decisions. That's the big difference. They have assessed the situation on ground, and step by step they have increased facilities for the people. And I'll also stress again that it's equally the responsibility of the civil society, the people of Kashmir, that they must also come forward and say that yes, we welcome these steps and we will act as a barrier against future attacks of terrorists. Because unless there's support from the people, terror cannot thrive in any society. That's been the evidence all over the world. So they bear a responsibility in equal measure, if not in greater measure. And it is in their own interest. If films are shot there, they get employment. If tourists come there, they get employment. Their economy thrives. So theatre opening is just one instance of a new society being born, a new way of life being born in Kashmir. As I said, Iran and Afghanistan should serve as an example for them, where women have come out in large numbers and told the government that do whatever you want, we want our freedom. Why can't Kashmiri women and men also say that we want freedom from terror?
Well, they should they should say that very soon. But Ashok Pandit, will the politics matter? Do these politicians and netas matter now, or it's gone beyond them now already? There are some who have a problem with Raghupati Raghava Rajaram. There are others who will say कि आप यहाँ पर अपना एजेंडा चला रहे हैं, यहाँ के कल्चर को चेंज कर रहे हैं. There are also those. So should you discount all of that? Does that not matter anymore?
Anand, I'll tell you very honestly, those people have become redundant in Kashmir. They are exposed, with the kind of politics they played, and they saw to it that Kashmir always remains backward, and they keep on making money. They were into business of terrorism. They minted money because of terrorism. They become millionaires because of terrorism. So they're slowly getting expensive. Whatever the new programs which have come up, you see the kind of rush people come in to apply or to be a part of that new journey which they want to start, whether the youth, youngsters, college students, everybody comes forward. The grounds are always full. So there is a positivity definitely there. So the only thing is that you have to really take up those positivity and channelize them to the right thing. What I want to tell you, Anand, is that we here in Mumbai, suppose I had an organization called IFTID, the Directors Association. So when I met LG Saab, I told him that we are ready to, what we are trying to do in Kashmir now is, we are ready to organize huge master classes in Kashmir and in Jammu, where directors will go and have master classes, where they will talk to the film lovers there, cinema goers there, and they will be a kind of, they'll share their experiences there. We have this in Mumbai and other places of the country. We do that with all top directors, technicians. We'll have master classes of Mukesh Chabada there, where we can have a casting actors workshop. So there are a lot of things. We can take musicians there, we can take composers there, we can take singers there. So the entire positivity in the valley as far as art is concerned, as the culture is concerned, vis-a-vis cinema is concerned, the industry, the film industry and the television industry is all set to do whatever the government wants us to do. So, this is a very positive thing. The way industry has always been very positive towards, giving in things to the people or to the film lovers and cinema lovers.
I have only one request, since you have considerable sphere of influence, Ashok ji, that सिर्फ कश्मीर नहीं, कश्मीर is very beautiful. जम्मू में भी थोड़ी शूटिंग करवाई है. जम्मू में बहुत सारी ऐसी वादियां हैं which have not been shown. People need to go and see that. So don't ignore Jammu. Jammu is a larger tract and they're just absolutely phenomenally beautiful. We need to take film crews there so that there is more infrastructure that's built.
No, Anand, I'm talking about entire Jammu and Kashmir. I'm not talking only about Kashmir. I'm talking about Jammu. I said Jammu, I said Jakti Camp, I said Jammu and Kashmir both. No, not just taking coaching and tuition sessions and all of that in terms of orientation sessions to teach them. That you mentioned Jammu. No, but I'm just saying, in terms of shooting locations, you should pick Jammu more. That's what I'm saying. Anand, you'll be surprised to know that the industry has been shooting more in Jammu. Noori was shot in Bhadarwah. So Bhadarwah, Rajouri, Punch, we all are aware of these locations. We are not restricted to Pahalgam and Gulmarg only. We are talking about interiors of Jammu, interiors of Kashmir, the border areas. They are much beautiful than those known places of Kashmir.
Correct.
We are going to touch base there. Bhadarwah is a place where if you go into the interiors of Bhadarwah and Rajouri and Punch and all that, you will not believe that such places exist in the land of ours. They're so beautiful.
No, absolutely. And as a Kashmiri, आप नहीं बोलोगे तो और कौन बोलेगा? So you know Jammu and Kashmir better than a lot of other people who are making movies. So you have to. So the onus rests on you. That's why I'm saying, Ashok ji, the General Dhillon is allowing himself a little bit of a chuckle there. General Saab, you wanted to add something?
No, I just wanted to add, yes, Jammu and Kashmir and including Leh and Ladakh. They are and Arunachal Pradesh and northeast of our country, which has not been seen by most of us Indians also. Having served in these areas in the interiors, as Mr. Ashok just now said, these places are beautiful. They are much more beautiful than any place on this earth. So film industry must exploit these places, and the time is now ripe. And I must tell you one thing, the turning point, the tipping point of peace returning happened on 5th of August 2019.
2019.
And what we are discussing today is the harvest we are reaping from that one particular decision of that particular day.
So अभी फसल पूरी नहीं है sir, अभी तो बस just first signs है. There is a lot more that needs to be harvested. Let's say that. Finally Dogra ji is also smiling. My team was saying Ambassador Rajiv Dogra कुछ सुनाई नहीं दे रहा, वो react ही नहीं कर रहे हैं, उनके चेहरे पे मुस्कान नहीं दिख रही. मैंने बोला अभी हंसेंगे, देखिए आप देखिए हंसे. Ambassador साहब एक बात बताइए. I want to ask you, is this true that there was a very famous actress who landed in Srinagar and from the airport dialed the chief minister and said, "Come pick me up, I'm in your city." And the chief minister, a former chief minister, got onto a bike and picked up the heroine and they both vanished into the valleys. ये कहानी आपने सुनी है?
You know, you television walas invent a lot of stories. Some of them may be true, but some of them
that's the diplomat's answer.
May have a little spice.
So you think?
I hope the person you are referring to, or the persons you are referring to, are also listening and smiling, because it did happen.
It did happen. See, that's what I wanted to get out of, the two people who would have been around at that time, actively serving and perhaps knowing the facts around. क्योंकि फिर आप लोग दोनों कहेंगे कि आप आधे से ज़्यादा तो उस वक्त पैदा भी नहीं हुए थे. So that's why I wanted to ask you that question. But Danish Manzoor, you know of this story?
No, I don't. I wasn't even born at that point, perhaps.
Ashok ji wanted to say something. What's it? Yeah, Danish, yeah.
Anand,
Ashok ji.
That chief minister was called as a after that incident, that chief minister was called as a disco chief minister. Because that disco chief minister would have not definitely taken a hero on the bike. He was very expert in taking heroines on the bike. So that's the only thing which he did in Kashmir. And nothing else, nothing positive as far as Kashmir is concerned.
But if that was the case, then that chief minister and that entire group should have never allowed the cinemas to close down, shut down. So that's another aspect. But do you believe this is going to work as a good counter-terrorism measure? Is this a master stroke, not just to divert, not just to bring communities together, Danish Manzoor, but also as a medium of employment? Because cinema also opens avenues, not just working at the cinema theatres, at the movies, but also orienting people towards, this is a big opportunity. Getting more people, if there are screens there, should we go and shoot more often? So bringing more of the industry across, pan-India, the film industry into Jammu and Kashmir.
Anand, I believe in the adage that boond boond hi sagar banta hai. And in this particular case, to be very honest, it is an important milestone that we have crossed today. As everybody else has also said, that kudos to the current Lieutenant Governor, his team, and to hundreds of other people, including Mr. Dhar, who actually made this possible. Because this goes beyond employment. This goes beyond these small gains that we look at. It is about, the information warfare which was being played with the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and the psychological warfare which people of Jammu and Kashmir were made the fodder of, right from the late 80s. This is that coming to an end today. What we expect now is the way people of Kashmir, my fellow Kashmiris, have embraced the coffee shop culture. They've embraced coming out of their homes and moving around. They will also embrace the cinema culture over there, because the 90s generation, which was completely robbed of this opportunity, finally has this opportunity after all these decades.
We witnessed the coffee shop culture, didn't we? When we stepped out for a quick cup of coffee, and you were pleasantly surprised, Danish. I remember that, and that was right at the Dal, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
I remember you saying it. Arey, log yahan coffee peene nikle. This is a welcome sight. And I was like, what's the big deal about having a cup of coffee during the day? He said, nahi, log nikalte nahi the. You said that to me.
Absolutely, Anand. I remember it, but it was a welcome change for me as well, to be very honest, having returned to the valley after so long, after almost 12, 13 years, and then seeing a different Kashmir. These things matter. They may seem very small to people, but these things matter. That you're able to step out, you're going to a coffee shop, you have a conversation. Conversations are important. People need to speak. People need to talk about art, culture, languages, or just what's going on. I mean, look at the PTSD that is there in Jammu and Kashmir at this point of time. These places also help these, our youngsters who are battling anxiety and PTSD at this point of time and give them a place to play.
Yes, and we need all the Kashmiri languages of Jammu and Kashmir to be reflected in the cinemas too. Regional films need to be started to be made. So now we got screens in the interiors. That means you'll also have an impetus for regional films or local films in Jammu and Kashmir to be made in local languages. So that could also work towards reviving local languages. Oh, the possibilities are immense, but करने वाले चाहिए. General साहब, उनको confidence कौन देगा? वो सब they'll turn towards law and order and the security apparatus. But one good thing to see is कि आज वहाँ यूनिफॉर्म कम दिखे सर. सड़कों पे जब यूनिफॉर्म कम दिखते हैं, आवाम ज्यादा दिखते हैं, वही that itself is a reflection of the change that's happening. With no disrespect to the men in uniform, the personnel in uniform, but that's a reality, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I would love to see a day when there is not a single uniformed person in the Lal Chowk or on the streets of Srinagar or in the interiors of Jammu and Kashmir, and the peace prevails in totality. And at this moment, I would like to pay my homage to lots of sacrifices made by the Indian soldiers, the Jammu Kashmir Indian Army soldiers, the Jammu Kashmir police personnel, including local Kashmiris who are civilians who stood against terror. And their sacrifice is today what we are discussing, the peace returning. So we must remember a lot of blood, a lot of Indian blood has gone into what we are seeing today.
Yes, absolutely. And let's not forget that, and let's respect that. And as a homage to that, make sure that these steps that are being taken, there are no steps taken back. For every 2 steps taken forward, we should actually take one more rather than one behind. That's the hope that we should leave with. And great having this very, very nice, positive chat with all of you who have got a little bit of Jammu and Kashmir in all of you. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Wonderful speaking with you. Thank you so much. Namaste and Jai Hind. We're going to take a very short break, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we put certain supremacists in place in the real report. Stay tuned.